Since Thursday night, there's been a couple of things that have taken up a lot of the media's time, a lot of our time in the forums, in the threads, the discussions across the channel. And that's firstly Dan Butler getting 1 week. We'll talk about that at another point. But the other topic of discussion that I want to shed a bit more light on today in just a random video is our youth. Our youth. Now, we've talked about where are the Saints going to get their star power from? Where are these A graders? Where are these future stars of the competition? Where are the players, importantly, that are going to take St Kilda to the promised land, or at least give us a chance of tasting that amazing feeling, that vibe in the last Saturday in September? When is that going to happen, and who is going to take us there? And I think we saw a lot of that on Thursday night. I think we saw a lot of what I guess the club is building on, particularly over the last couple of drafts, and the players that look like, could be that next wave of A grade talent for the St Kilda Football Club. So I've done a video. I want to talk about them. I think our youngsters are awesome. The title of the video is exactly what this video is about. I think our youngsters are awesome. I don't know if a lot of outsiders think that just yet, but I think internally, I think we can all look at some of these players that are coming through now and be very, very excited about where they can take us. And this isn't a video to put more responsibility on them. I'm not here to put pressure on the blokes. They're doing what they need to do, and that's great. I think it's just about time that we can really take a step back and go, geez, we've got some players that, you can build a team around. And it's not one, it's not two, there's 3, 4, 5, 6 of them that are, got genuine star factor about them, which is just so exciting and something I think we haven't had for a long time. And just to dip straight into that, I've got our list here. So you've got our playing list for 2023. Obviously, I've sorted it by age, and just to give you an understanding of why I think we've got a really, really good balance of that sort of core group, but obviously then that bottom 10, 15 youngsters that can really catapult a team very quickly into maybe not premiership contention. Obviously, eventually that's the goal, but just to get us into that top echelon of the ladder. I think we've got the group that can really get it done. So, I mean, it says it all when you've got someone like Mateus Filippo as your youngest player on your list, a player that has played every single game this year. He's kicked goals in almost every single game that he's played. And he's a player that any team in the competition would love to have. A player that could have been probably number 1, number 2 draft pick in the upcoming national draft. But we got him, and he's a Sainer. So we're very lucky. Then Ollie Houghton, he's been injured, but he played for Sandy yesterday. But just looking at this bottom sort of group here, basically from, I'd say, maybe Josh Battle down, the fact that Josh Battle's still only 24 years of age bewilders me. I cannot believe that he's only 24. I don't know if every Sainer out there is as shocked as I am, but I can't believe he's only 24. Ben Patton, 24. Jack Higgins, 24. Clark, Caulfield, Stocker. How good has this guy been? Jack Bytel, we haven't seen much of, but we know that he's got potential. Max King, you don't need to say much more there. A generational talent. Cooper Sharman, Ronnie Burns is doing well. Connolly we haven't seen, but again, we've seen enough, I guess, in his previous seasons that he's got something. Matty Allison injured, unfortunately, but then on Max Heath, who's doing very well at Sandy. Now, these are the blokes that we're starting to talk about. Nasiah Wanganeen-Malira. What are his stats? Look at this. Like, he's averaging above 22 disposals a game, 17.3 kicks, 6.3 marks, 464 meters gained. I think he just had another 30 top season high against the Sydney Swans, which happens to also be a career high handballs. This guy, all of his career highs are basically this season, and it's been in the last month. He's been fantastic. You look at sort of how he's grown off that halfback position. We're very, very lucky to have him there. And to have players around him like a Sinclair and obviously Brad Hill, who's got a very close relationship with, he's just growing week by week. And it was a match match-winning performance, dare I say, on Thursday night. His performance was excellent. He was one of the best, probably the top 3 best players on the ground. And the exciting thing is he wasn't alone when it comes to, being a youngster that's really delivering on the big stage for us. You look down, Marcus Winhager, he got a game on the weekend, got, I think, 10 to 15 possessions. Again, another player that we know has had to earn his trade at Sandy, but it's because Ross Lyon and the coaches know that he's got some talent. They know that he's got something to offer this footy club. And we know that Marcus has got what it takes. We know that. He just needs the time and the experience, and he'll get there. Oscar Adams, we haven't seen much of. And now the next man down, the one that everyone is talking about, the one player that now is in calculations to be the favorite for the NAB Rising Star. That's amazing. He's come from nowhere. I mean, he hasn't come from nowhere, but he's just taken the AFL landscape by storm with the way that he's played. And the fact that he missed a game because of concussion, and he's come back in, he's kicked 2 goals, had 21 possessions. Mitch Owens is a very, very special player. And people are starting to actually think that Max King was that player. Maybe he's not alone. Maybe there's a player called Mitch Owens that could possibly have the potential to be as good, if not better, than someone like Max King. Now, obviously, that's a huge call. But the fact that he's delivering these numbers in his second season, playing in one of the toughest positions on the ground, in a team that, to be fair, has missed a lot of their star forwards for a bit of this season, and he's had to carry that weight, has been phenomenal. 27 disposals against the Gold Coast. Hit 14 kicks on the weekend. Kicked 3 against the Dogs in round 2. 8 marks against Sydney on the weekend. He set up a couple of goals, kicked 2 of his own. He was one of the best players on the ground and probably one of the hardest matchups in the competition. He's played 11 games. He's kicked 15 goals, 12. He's laid 42 tackles and taken 46 marks this season so far. Mitch Owens just plays footy. That's what I love about him. He, to me, embodies Saints footy. I said that in my review, but we missed him against Hawthorn and we lost that mongrel. We lost that physicality around the football. He plays against Sydney and he lifts everyone around him, and he's only 19 years old. And he's going to get bigger and taller and stronger and more confident. That is a terrifying prospect for any defender in the competition. I would happily put Mitch Owens on any single defender in the competition and back him in to give them a very, very hard day at the office. We're very lucky to have Mitch Owens. He's one of the other youngsters that is blossoming. Then you've got Anthony Caminiti at 19 at 196 centimeters. Obviously, probably hasn't taken the AFL season by storm in the way that, say, Mitch Owens has, but he still performed, to me, above average in every sense of the word. He's only played the 9 games, but he's kicked 11 goals, 6, and I think he's added that physicality around the football as much as Mitch Owens has. And then you've got players at Sandy like Jack Paris, Isaac Keeler, James Van Ayres, Angus McLennan, who's starting to play, Ollie Houghton again, and then obviously Phillippo, who's just been incredible in his first season. And obviously Max King has come back in. He's kicked 4, 4, and 3, 11 goals, 2, I think, in his 3 games back. He's been amazing, and he's got that sort of physicality about him as well. He's put on size. He's playing angry. He knows he's the big dog, and we love that. And then you've got players above him, as I mentioned before. So that's why I wanted to do this video, saying is because I think we've got genuinely one of the best young cores, I guess, in the competition. We've got the talls, we're getting the mids through. I think we're going to see Isaac Keeler probably later in the year. And if not, he's doing very well at Sandy. I think he's going to be a very, very good player for us. I think from a lot of reports, people think that he can be the next star ruckman of the competition. He's got a lot of talent, a lot of X factor. He's very raw still, but it's one to keep an eye on. Absolutely. And you just look at what we had in 2010. Like, I just want to, I guess, put a bit of attention on, 2010, 2009, we always talk about the top tier talent, but we didn't talk about, that bottom 10, who are these bottom 10 players? And we look at them and we go, all right, let's see where they're at. Daniel Archer we had back then, Mark Hutchings, Nick Winmar, Reece Stanley obviously played well at Geelong. Tom Lynch went to Adelaide. Paul Cahill, nothing. Alistair Smith, nothing. Tom Simpkin, nothing. Nick Hayne, Blake McGrath, Jack Stephen obviously turned into a very good player. Stephen Gardner, Will Johnson, Ben McAvoy, a great player. It's really, you got Tommy Walsh there as well, Jared Allen, Luke Miles, Jesse Smith. You keep going up, Adam Pattinson. Like, to me, this top end is what got us to grand finals. This is what probably didn't get the job done. Whereas if you look at our balanced list now, this is obviously in terms of age and not experience, but this bottom tier here is very, very handy. You've got they've all got capable, abilities when it comes to football. And I can see them all having very, very strong careers. That's the thing. I think that our top tier isn't a match for 2010, 2009, obviously, not yet. But I think our bottom tier, I think, is very, very balanced. And that's how a lot of opposition supporters describe the St Kilda playing list, is not blossomed with a lot of A graders, but bloody hell, it's balanced. And we play like a very balanced team. And I think a lot of that has to be credited towards the youth, getting this new wave, as SEN put it, this new wave of Saints fast becoming A graders. People were looking at our list 2 years ago and going, geez, Max King, Jack Steele, Jack Sinclair, they're the only A graders in the team. Now you got, like, Rowan Marshall, to me, is a bona fide star. Callum Wilkie is a bona fide star. Jack Sinclair, bona fide star. Jack Steele is a star, not in the best of form, but nonetheless, most teams would take him in a heartbeat. Then you've got Max King, Mitch Owens, Filippo, Messiah. Mason Wood could be All-Australian this year. Like, the list goes on. There's plenty of players now that you look at and you go, they're some of the best players in their position in the AFL at this time. So that's how well we're going, and I think that we need to really be proud of that and look at that and not shy away from it. So, you look at what SEN have said, David King, I think Mitch Owens sets the standard of this football club well beyond his years. I think, was this David King or Max King? David King. And he's become one of the really significant members of this team. He's not just a young player who can do some things. He's a significant barometer into their game day fortunes. That's what Kane Corn said. That was the best bit. You can chuck in Wanganeen Malira and you can chuck in Filippo and the upside to him, and you can chuck in King and you can go, well, when they sacked Brett Ratton, they said they didn't have enough A graders. Well, you can see 4 A graders there that they've got, and that is a nucleus of how you can build your side around those 4 young stars. So that was the best bit for me. I just want to back over Owens from a statistical point of view. I think the most important contest to win are those when the ball's in flow going into the forward line. If you can win 2 contests in a row, you're scoring. So it's the post-clearance contest that we talk about. Mitch Owens won. He led all comers last night, winning 11 contests when the game was in general play. That is enormous. He was the AFL number 1 after round 9 for that stat. That's just what he does. Like, it's amazing to go to the footy and see these youngsters. And it's not just they're just doing 1 or 2 nice things. They're genuinely taking the game by the scruff of the neck and saying, we're getting over the line. And that's just awesome to see. I genuinely am very, very excited for the future because of the way that we've drafted, the way we've recruited. Obviously, Caminiti, we picked up as well. Stocker from Carlton. I know there's probably players I'm missing, but just the last 3 to 4 years in the players that we've brought in versus the players that have left, we've completely revitalized the St Kilda Football Club. The playing list is in a very, very good place. This season, we've got a lot of money to spend in the off-season, could get some big fish, but I still think investing in this youth, giving them time, and I think they're the players that can really take us to the next level. So for me, our youngsters are awesome. I am just super excited to have them at the club, and I can't wait to keep watching them develop in the years to come. So, Sainers, enjoy the long weekend. I've been wanting to do this video for a while, and I could have done it earlier in the season, but I really thought that Thursday night we saw all of them lift in a different way. Filippo kicked the first goal of the game. Mitch Owens led from the front all day. Max King kicked through and set up 2 or 3 others. Nasiah Wanganeen Malira was probably the best player on the ground. Caminiti battled hard. We've got youngsters on every line that are doing a job, and it's awesome to watch. So if you agree, please like the video, comment your thoughts as well. What are you loving the most about these youngsters? Is it the fact that they're not just getting by in games, they're genuinely changing games and being match winners? Or is it just the fact that they're just playing Saints footy and they're playing hard footy, honest footy, and it's awesome to watch? And they look so much more mature than they actually are. Like Filippo, he's 18. It's ridiculous what he's doing at 18. Playing every game this year, every single game. We all said he needed a rest. You know what? I don't think he needs a rest, that bloke. He loves playing footy, and he's a very, very important player for us. And that's another thing, is they're all very important players. They're not just there filling gaps. They're genuinely winning their positions on the ground every single week. And it's just amazing to watch. So I'll wrap it up there, Sainers. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed these types of videos, just a bit more, I guess, reading the news and having a chat, please like, comment your thoughts as well. And most importantly, subscribe. Let's get to 7K in the next month. That'd be amazing. We've got another 400 or so to go subs. So if you watch this and you click the button, and yeah, I'll forever be indebted to you. So thanks, guys. I'll wrap it up there and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Go, you mighty Sainers. See you guys.